Thanks, guys. So the response has been pretty good. A lot of people wanted to join in on the party. Unfortunately, I can't get through everyone's website today. As Darren mentioned, it's about 34 people. So I've selected 3, 4 ones that people actually contact me directly to have a look at, and they should cover off most of the broad SEO issues that generally come up. You'll find a lot of time the fundamental things across a lot of websites, SEO-wise, they're very common. There's very common things that need to be fixed. And keep in mind, look, audits, it's not like a tax audit. It's nothing about like ripping a website to shreds. It's going to show some missed opportunities, but also the great opportunity for fixing these issues to as well help your organic visibility overall. So first up, I wanted to take a look at, so this is the agenda today. So I'll ask you to unmute, have a quick spiel about your business, which would be great. I've actually made it easy for people. I've put their little bio in there already if you, if you haven't got anything prepared already. Chuck your questions in the chat. There's a few specialists in the room, so I appreciate if they could catch any of these questions as well. If they could answer that, that'd be great. And yeah, if I can't get to your website, feel free to reach out. I have my email at the end. Happy to jump on the phone and go through things in more detail with you as well. So first up, I wanted to chat to Megan from Mint Property Management.
Good morning.
Morning. Yeah, just give us a bit of a spiel about what you do.
Well, at the moment, in the brave new world that we're in, I manage expectations, and some days I do that better than others. That pretty much sums that up.
Awesome, awesome.
We are residential property management, specialist in the residential property management space. So our agency doesn't sell properties, and the focus is property management, not as a side business, which can often tend to happen. We work throughout Melbourne, so that does introduce some challenges around some of the branding and advertising spaces that we can work within. And I opened the doors on my own agency January 2018, so we're a little bit over 2 years old now.
Yeah. Is that how old the website is? About 2 years?
Yes, yeah. I would have set that up the end of 2017 while I was putting everything together. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so I've already had a quick suss on a lot of these websites and just sort of had a quick, view on how everything's going. And Mint Property Management actually ticked a lot of boxes. There's a lot of good stuff going on here, so pat on the back. Just a couple of things. I actually love that you've actually got sort of a heading here that says Melbourne Specialist Property Management. That's actually a huge thing that people don't really put into the website, is actually a heading about explaining about what you do. Because the one thing that Google's trying to understand when it's trying to rank you for keywords is, what do you do? What are the key terms behind what you're providing? What are the services you provided? So it's great that you've done that. But I found that as well. So you've got that on the website, which is great. When I do this little site command, which is a very useful tool to see how Google's indexing your website, you actually don't have your homepage title tag set to that. So all I would really suggest in terms of that is actually adding in your homepage title tag to say Specialist Property Management Melbourne. And that's great, because the title tag is basically what appears in the search thing. So you can see what people see when actually they find your services or find your website. And just having that thing, having that set of keywords there is great for click-through rate. It helps Google basically contextualize the website, which is really, really, really useful. So that should be a pretty easy thing. I think this is on WordPress, so it's quite an easy fix to jump into the back end and do that. And that should be pretty useful for you.
We're on Joomla.
Oh, Joomla. Ooh, a little bit more complicated. Do you have a developer?
Sorry?
Do you have a developer that works on the website?
My husband is in IT and he runs the website. I just kind of send him emails.
The whip and get
oh my God, do this straight away.
get him on it. It's pretty easy.
I'll see if there's a quick link on how to do it, because I've worked with Joomla. So yeah, I'll send you a quick link on how to do it.
Sure thing. Cool. Thank you.
Like good ticks for in terms of SEO, you've got the blog going, which is great. Continue doing that. That's awesome. I had a look at your about section as well. You've actually got a PDF uploaded to the website. So is this your like about us sort of section?
This is the company profile as such. So we made the decision to upload the PDF so that I actually have a link that I can send through when I'm talking to prospective clients.
Yeah. And this is actually really, really great content. What I would literally do is take this PDF and transpose that as a page onto the website as well. Because Google can't crawl PDFs in the same way you can crawl normal pages. So it would be actually a super simple job. Take what's on here and put it on a page called About Us. You'll still have the link, but Google will be able to see the About Us page. And that's really important for authority. Projecting yourself as a bit of authority in the space is the most thing paramount for Google. If you look at your own website, do I look like I know what I'm talking about? I'd say property management really ticks that box. Just improving on those couple of things would be really, really helpful for you. So that's really it. Yeah, good stuff.
Thank you. Wow, that's not what I was expecting. I thought there'd be a much longer list.
No, honestly, you guys, it's a good set of websites that I've actually had a look at here. So pat on the back for that. There's more of improvement things that you can do rather than fixing things that I've seen just generally. You've obviously got someone who knows how to sort of map out a website pretty well. Also maybe chucking in a contact form section or inquiry section at the bottom of this page so people can inquire directly from the homepage. I think that'd be pretty useful as well for conversion too. So cool. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Next up, we have Rachel Brown, who's already been chatting a little bit today. Say hello, Rachel.
Hiya. How you guys going?
What do you do? What do you specialize in?
So I'm a freelance photographer and I specialize in two categories where I have an analog business where I make a lot of fine art projects and documentary projects, which is what you're seeing. I do lots of portraiture. I'm really lucky. I have very pretty friends and people around me, so I've been able to make some cool stuff. And then I have a digital side, which is dedicated to helping people and businesses make money or get hired. So it's headshots, food photography, content for Instagram. So that's sort of what I do. And also I know my SEO isn't great, so.
That's all right. So the biggest hump to get over in terms of SEO, particularly for photography services, is you have to sort of bridge that gap between visually being quite appealing on the website. Like, this looks great. The website is super slick. There's no denying that. But the problem is Google can't really contextualize the website as well without text. So my main recommendation would be overall to make sure that each sort of section on the website has some sort of content, like text content, literally. So adding in a description, say in the bottom of this page saying, this is what I do, this is the services that I provide, making sure that's sort of matching up with the keywords around photography and the services around that. So you'd have portrait photography, all those services that you were talking about as well. But also when I had a look into the website, I actually love the fact that you put in the pricing section onto the as a page. Now, this is more of a business decision because I understand that people might want to be like, oh, I don't want to kind of show my prices because, I want people to inquire, and then, obviously I can upsell them or whatever. But you'll find out all the time, people do ask that question, how much do things cost? So if I actually Google photography pricing, you're going to have a slew of pages of people already creating creating pages around that because they know people are Googling for that question. It's the question that must come up. How much is this going to cost? And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. That's the kind of decision that you have to make. Maybe just starting out, I'll have my pricing up there. I know people are Googling about it and hopefully I can get some traction through that. So that's great to have. I actually recommended one of my remedial massage clients do this a couple of months ago. And yeah, they're ranking number 2 for that, just by having a price list on their page, because a ton of people Googling that. So that's a pretty clear example of how that works. And then look, obviously people, having ads on this particular keyword search means that's pretty valuable. So love that you did that. If anyone has the opportunity to do that, I recommend it. And then obviously as you get a bit more traction, maybe take it off because you want to get people more involved and maybe upsell them a little bit more without knowing the direct prices. But essentially, yeah, my main recommendation would be adding more content to the website and also starting up a blog. Learn to blog like a pro for photography, especially. Yeah, just adding in those questions that you get a lot, or general terms around, what kind of photography do I need, wedding photography, best poses and stuff like that. That's going to be the main thing you would really want to focus on because it's quite a competitive market as well. So that would be my overall recommendations there.
Okay, brilliant.
Cool. All right, moving on. Tom, Studiohawk.
Morning.
Morning. What do you do, mate?
Well, I'm an architect. Yeah, so I've started my own company about 2.5 years ago, and probably put the website live probably about 2 years ago. But yeah, I focus a lot on residential projects, renovations or extensions, but also new homes and property development, townhouse developments, and small-scale apartments, sort of that type projects.
Cool. So yeah, again, it's sort of like Rachel's website. It's a very clean, very slick website. And then again, I would recommend adding more content to the website as well. You've got these projects too about the different sort of things you've worked on. I would even posit maybe adding in pages around those particular ones as well, so people get a better understanding of each type of development you've done. And then adding in a section about, the experience, or, because you've actually got a lot of terms here that people might be interested in. So turning these into kind of blog posts or pages would be pretty useful. I think that would be great for you. And I think, yeah, in terms of this, we've already had a chat because I already had a look at your website before. Wix isn't the best platform for SEO, so this is built on Wix. So essentially, at some point, moving off it will be great. It will work for now, but what I would really focus on is actually your Google My Business page. That would be really powerful for you, actually just getting more reviews on there. You've already got one review, get more, because Google would see people getting reviews and, people having great experience and be like, oh, these, it's worth ranking Tom for, architecture services and things like that. So focus on the Google My Business, start up a blog as well. And just map out more of your project pages to have actual sort of content around them as well, will be the main thing.
Cool, thank you.
Sweet. Natalie.
Hi all, Natalie here. Yep, Section Technologies. So we're an IT company, nearly 9 years actually, and as Darren said earlier, one of the lucky ones still working in an office with a team. We do IT services and disaster recovery, and quite a lot obviously of website work, loads and loads of inquiries coming in around WordPress sites. Very interested to see your feedback, Lawrence. This site was built 8 years ago, and we've just tweaked it recently. There's a shop coming for it, and a membership area as well.
Yeah, cool. Again, another website that ticks quite a few boxes in terms of a lot of the technical things. I think there's maybe some things you can do around page speed that would be quite useful. I think it was, a couple of these elements and things might be a little bit too big and just need some compression. So that's one thing I'd look into. I can send you the link of how sort of a page speed analyzer that would help out with that. But what I wanted to show everyone kind of, and this is really important, and I talk about this a lot in other things I've done, is the use of service pages around your business. Google, if you have a website and you don't have, you have a lot of services you provide that people may not know about, if you don't really place them on your website in a smart way, Google isn't going to know what you do. So in actuality, what's going on in Section Technologies is you set up a service sort of subdirectory and actually filled in, okay, we do backup data, disaster recovery, we do managed maintenance, we do website design, we do web hosting. These are all pockets of information that Google needs to know so it can actually rank you for those particular keywords. So someone is looking for web design, Google knows, hey, these guys do web design because you built a page around it, which makes you look more of an authority. The number of times I've seen websites just have one page and they just add on all those services, it's fine. I mean, you can get somewhere, but actually having places where people can be captured, like a service page like this, and actually directly inquire is really, really powerful. And it's a huge miss that I see a lot on a lot of websites as well. So if anyone's got a lot of services they provide, I'd recommend, in the same way that Sections Technologies have done this, and it's great to do web design as well. So you can obviously have a chat to them if you're interested in doing that, because they've applied it to their own website. If you're a plumber and you do different types of plumbing, you'd be like, I do, I'm not a plumber, but pipe repair and all these different things and maintenance. If you're say a clinic, you would have like, we do women's health, we do travel health, we do flu shots, and have all those different capture points for the users. Because again, Google can know, okay, these guys do these things and these pages are built around that. And it just adds more context to Google about what you do as well. So huge tick for that. One thing I would recommend as well, because you've got quite a few Google reviews, is actually responding to them. So you've got a lot of
that's probably a good idea.
So the funny thing about Google reviews as well, great to have them, and it's great to respond to them as well. because Google could then say, all right, these obviously these guys really care about their company, the companies that they work with. And it adds just that little personal touch, you've got like people saying, love Nat and Adam. You can respond to them saying, hey, love working with Grant, and just add a little bit of a personal feel to it. Because it's obviously good when you're reading a review and you feel like it's a very personal experience to your users.
So go back to use their name kind of thing.
Yeah, just be like,
yeah.
I love working with Grant, loved his family, like make it personal, make it fun and enticing.
Okay.
Also, the funny thing about Google reviews is it's good to have like all 5 stars, but it's funny, you might need a couple of like not so great ones to just show that you're a bit human. You're a little bit fallible as well. Because having a sort of a 4.8, 4.7, people will look at the bad reviews and just see how you respond to that as well, which is super powerful. If you can turn a really bad experience into a great one, people be like, oh, I definitely want to work with these guys, because they obviously really care about their customers as well.
Good advice.
Yeah, another thing for everyone involved. If you go to Google My Business page, chuck in some more photos about the rule is kind of the rule of 3. You have 3 photos of your interior of the company, 3 photos of the exterior, and 3 photos of your team, and 3 photos of your team working as well. And try to periodically upload new photos around that every month. Quite good. Google loves it when you use their little tools. So they've got all these tools in place. If you're utilizing them and just, spend an hour every month just doing some tweaks, responding to reviews, adding photos, they love when they use their customers use their tools, and will give you a little bit of a bump in visibility from that as well. So make sure you do that too. That's the recommendations I have. This is just a bit about what I was saying before. It's great when websites are designed in a way that has the service pages already set out. So if anyone has those ready to go, or is thinking about designing a new website, I chat to someone like Natalie. I have a look at building up my website in a way that really makes sense. Cool. I actually blasted through quite a few of them in a pretty speedy amount of time. I've got a few more websites, and I haven't really sussed out if people want to be jumping on. I've got next up is No Great Creative if Jackie's here. If she's okay with running through. Is she here? Nope. I don't think so. I've got Smarter Property Investing. Someone from Smarter Property Investing?
Yep.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, thank you. This is Tammy Gale from Smarter Property Investing.
Hey, cool. What do you guys do?
So Christine is she helps people build investments through property.
Awesome. So let's just, getting a good sense of where you're at in terms of Google is often just Googling your own business name and just seeing what's going on. It's always a good sign when you have your Google My Business page pop up with reviews, things have been set up, got pictures on there, that's great. See the website, again, could use a new title tag, explaining what you guys do really concisely. Also could use maybe a bit of a revamped meta description, just to,
Okay.
A little bit. And if we jump into the website, cool, it's mapped out pretty well. You've got some videos on here as well. It's really good. I recommend, when I had a look, just a few UX things could be improved. It's structured pretty well. You've got some SEO kind of working in the background for you. Just, tightening up some of these elements and having a look at page speed and things like that would be really good if you've got a web developer that you're currently working with.
Okay, yep.
As well, have you got tracking in place for any of these tell links or the inquiries that come through as well? Do you have the tracking in place through Google Analytics or something?
I'm not 100% on that. I'd have to double check, Lawrence.
Definitely have a look into that. Make sure that you're tracking what's coming through the website, where it's coming from as well, because these might be coming from Google, they might be coming from Facebook, and you definitely want to be analyzing that data as well and seeing where you should really put your resources into. If Facebook's working really well, let's pump Facebook. If Google's working really well, pump Google. So having that data behind it, and I recommend that to everyone, get your tracking in place through Google Analytics. There's a lot of tutorials on how to do that. Things like this, submission forms are quite easy if you've got a thank you page. tracking when people click the tail links as well, pretty useful. I think I'm personally really more inclined to, if I see a website on my phone, a lot of people are using their phones these days to look at websites, clicking on the call link straight away just to start inquiring without having to run through a form, because it's a little bit clunky. I'd rather just hit the tail link to really get that going. So if anyone doesn't have clickable tail links, I recommend you put them in as well for the purposes of tracking and just having people inquire a lot easier. Yeah, that's all the recommends I had. Maybe just look at updating a few UX elements to make it a little bit cleaner.
Thank you.
Next up, I had Lakeside Cottage. Went from Lakeside Cottage here. Nope.
That would be Kay if she's online.
Kay. Is Kay here? Nope. Cool. We'll keep ticking along. Ad Choir. Going from Ad Choir. Nope. Well, this was an interesting one when I had a look, so I'll just show you guys really quickly. They actually mapped out pretty well in terms of SEO. A lot of great content, a lot of keywords that are coming up. I'm actually going to pop open SEMRush. Now, SEMRush is the tool that actually analyzes the entire website in terms of how it's placed organically. It's quite powerful. We have access to a really nice corporate account that gives us a lot of useful information. So if I plug them in, I can see what the keywords they're ranking for, how the visibility's gone. We'd often show people this. It's a little bit of the secret sauce, what we work on at Studiohawk. And we can see basically how the keywords are going. And what I noticed as well is, one of the things they do is location-based ads, and they're actually ranking for that keyword. So you can see that right there. So they're ranking for that keyword in about the 5th or 6th page. Great. That's a great sign that things are tracking along really well. And they probably need to think about looking at more advanced SEO tactics, which we specialize in, obviously. Not everyone has the time and resources to spend doing really advanced stuff, but that's where we look at doing, say, backlinks. We'd look at doing a really nice content strategy as well. For the recording purposes, I think it'd be really important to flag this. When I click schedule a demo on this website, nothing's coming up. So obviously that's not great for user experience. I definitely think whoever Acquire is, jump on that, because probably got people landing on this page and not really getting anywhere. So, so hopefully somebody sees that and fixes that as well. They have insane site speed, which is awesome. Really good to have a super fast website too. James Braun.
Hi everybody. Sorry, you caught me on the hop before, so I was on the phone.
That's all right. How you doing, man? What do you do?
Good, thanks. Yeah, good. Thank you, Lawrence.
Yeah. So what do you do? I think it's photography.
Yes, work for advertising design and direct clients, specializing in people.
Cool. So I had a quick suss. It's a really clean website. Again, much like Rachel's website, in terms of photography, you definitely want to have more content on the website about the services you provide.
Yeah. That landing page is just a temporary page for current times. So that's
okay, cool.
Just put on temporarily. That'll come off in the next couple of weeks or so.
Awesome. Well, I hope the new website definitely has a little bit more text content for Google and has those.
Website, Lawrence, sorry, but that applause landing page, that's just the temporary page. So if you click in categories, everything's in there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, sweet. Great. Yeah, much like Rachel's website, again, just focus on getting a blog up as well. Focusing on blog content is going to be really important. You've obviously got a lot of different projects you've worked on, so it's obviously good to present that to Google in a way that really makes sense about the different services that you've engaged with or worked with as well. And then I think when I do this, again, you have a bit of a missed opportunity with chucking in some core keywords into your title tag. It actually comes up as
interesting.
This weird, obviously it's pulling in a page, a picture description or something.
Yeah,
definitely look at
the page that's up there now.
Yeah, so definitely look at in the back end. What's it built on?
This one's on a photo folio.
Right.
Yeah, I was on prior to this, but I just found it quite clunky to sort of chop and change. So I need to readdress that. And I think the issue that photographers have is that we're caught between having something that's quite sort of clean and minimal, and needing to sort of have words in there to actually get across for SEO. So it's something I've always sort of battled with, is that sort of fine balance between optimizing SEO and having a clean, aesthetically pleasing site.
Yeah, I'll give you a bit of a cheat sheet. So I worked with Jesse before from Benton Media. He's part of Fresh.
Oh, yes.
So, you know, mapping out your website in a way that, you know, you're actually adding in your services. So he's updated me more about live streaming, but in terms of photography, he's got pages actually mapped out as well. Definitely look into doing something like this, having just sources where people can inquire directly. I get the balance between the design aspect and, you know, a website is a funnel for, you know, potentially new customers. You really have to bridge that gap the best you can, but obviously keeping your aesthetic at the same time. So that's always a fun little challenge that we have to engage in.
Challenging part of it. And is that website you just showed me, was that built on the framework of WordPress? Or is
that was WordPress, yeah.
Right, okay. So is WordPress, in your opinion, that's basically the best framework to...
If I was going to build a website, I'd go WordPress. If I was going to do e-commerce, I'd do Shopify. That's what I would go to. People all the time want to do really advanced CMSs. When you're just starting out with your website, WordPress is just so easy to use. And just from our experience, I'm sure the other guys from Studiohawk would agree, the majority of the people that we work with and we see the most success are on WordPress or something like that. Not to say that it's impossible to rank another website on another CMS, but it does make it quite easy to get in. If you need to hire someone to, you know, manage your content strategy, they're able to jump in as well and fix things up. And yeah, it just makes it, it's very adaptable is my main recommendation. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Lawrence. Appreciate it.
Cool. Callback Constructions. From Callback.
Hi, you've got Katrina here.
Hey, Katrina, how's it going?
Good, thanks.
What do you guys do?
So we're a bespoke custom home builder in the Yarra Valley and eastern suburbs. Section Technologies has either built or at least revamped our website recently.
Yeah. Cool. Sorry, Callback Technologies. I merged the two names together. Constructions. That would be you guys, correct?
That is correct.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so I had a quick look at this yesterday. Again, really like a lot of ticks, honestly. Really, really great stuff. Again, service pages are implemented, so you're actually capturing when people are saying, I want to, I'm Googling renovations. So Google actually has a capture point saying, hey, this is where we should send users who are looking for renovations if callback's coming up. Which is great. Good use of search intent matching, which is awesome. The one thing I would recommend, or two things actually, is again, blogs. Blogs would be a really useful strategy for you guys because you've built out a really great website. So getting on the blogs would be really, really useful, coming up with some content ideas currently, and just going a little bit crazy with that would be a good recommendation there. And also, I noticed when I have a look at you guys in Google, you've actually got a competitor that comes up against you. So you've got Cobalt Constructions and you guys are Callback Constructions. So there's obviously a bit more work to be done there. I initially thought this was a duplicate, and that can happen sometimes. You've got two Google My Business listings that need to be merged. But it seems that you guys are different, but you in the same field. Again, I'll just look at getting more Google reviews on that. So reach out to your customers who've had a great experience and just say, hey, can we get a Google review? That would really help. So you can start beating it.
And is that the only way to improve our listing over theirs?
Essentially, that's one of the strategies. But again, like I mentioned, photos. So photos of all your projects, making the updates where necessary. In the back end, there's quite a few different options in the Google My Business page. So photos is a great idea. Responding to reviews, adding in more categories about what you guys do as well, any specializations, updating your business hours, updating your address, making sure that this is as consistent with your website as possible, because Google actually looks for that consistency as well. It wants to know that this page is matching up to that listing. So it takes a bit of time, but it's definitely worth considering. You've got a kind of a named competitor duplication going on. So you definitely want to be beating them in the end.
Great, thank you.
Awesome. Focused Wealth. From Focused Wealth. Nope. I think I had Carol Benton who just chucked me her URL at the beginning, so I can have a quick on the fly have a look at this. Carol?
Yes, sorry.
Hey,
hi.
how's it going? What do you do?
I'm a business communication consultant and writer. So I help companies win more business with content that really explains their value, particularly technology companies I'm targeting.
Awesome. Yeah, love that. And that synergizes as well with SEO. Obviously, there's a bit that goes hand in hand with that. I'm just looking at this for the first time as well. So very clean website, really great, quite compelling as well. Again, I would look at adding in a contact form on the homepage if you don't already have one, to really capture the people who land on your page initially, so they don't have to click too far to get to it. Your tail links are there. I'd look at tracking those if you haven't already.
So can you just explain a bit more about that? That's where how people arrive at your site.
The tracking?
Yes.
Yeah, so basically you want to install Google Analytics.
Yes, so I get a report every month that shows me basic analytics, yes.
You'll basically get a dashboard telling you actively, even in real time, how many people are on your website and inquiring as well. So you can track that over the course of the month and say, all right, I had 4 inquiries from organic, I had 2 from Facebook, I had 1 from paid media or paid ads. I'll look at doing Facebook a bit more because paid isn't really working for me. So those kind of decisions is really helpful for your overall marketing strategy.
Facebook is not a big channel for me because I'm more B2B.
Yeah. Right. Cool. Yeah. In terms of the services pages, I'd look at mapping this out a little bit more to match up with better search intent, maybe the industries that you're targeting as well, create some content around that. So if you're interested in the technology industry, you've got a blog going, so I'm assuming that you're blogging.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely look at, something like copyright or like content creation for technology businesses or something like that. Look into those sort of realms. And if you guys are struggling for inspiration for what to do on your website, have a look at your competitors. Have a look at people who are doing really well currently on Google and just, I'm not saying steal, but use them as inspiration for what you need to do on your website. Because obviously what they're doing really well and ranking #1 or on the first page can be replicated. It's really not rocket science. All these SEO things and all these things I talked about, they're quite practical things that you can do. You just have to spare a couple of hours, maybe across the month, to just work on them a little bit. And then over time, you'll get a lot of value out of it. Cool. So I don't think I have any more to go through, or we're just, Darren, how are we doing for time? Oh, you're muted. You're mute. Got 5 minutes. Should we do the questions then?
Yep.
Cool.
There's, I think a lot of questions have been answered by your support team at Studiohawk.
Oh, great. The support team.
so well done, Studiohawk, for having your team there to help with the questions. I think James is more talking about like WordPress and having a good designer. I think a lot of the questions have been answered.
Yeah.
Does anyone, if you have a question, we'll just go through and raise your hand and we'll ask you to unmute.
I've got a question. So with Google reviews, if that review, like you mentioned earlier before, that responding to your Google review is a good thing to do. If that Google review has been on there for, let's say, a year, is it still wise to respond to that, or doesn't it matter at all?
Oh, very good question. I'd look at responding to the more recent ones first. Because then Google might be like, oh, there I responded to a review from a year ago. A little bit sus. Good instincts, Tom. That's a really good point to bring up. I missed that. Do the more the recent ones. If it's like 3 years ago, there's no point in really responding to it unless they put in a new one, which would be really nice of them, or updated their review just for you.
Can you get rid of a bad review on Google?
Depends on the intention behind the review. If you can prove that it was malicious in nature and they never engaged in a service, there is channels that you can go through Google. But otherwise, I would just directly reach out to them if they just generally had a bad experience, just because whatever miscommunications or whatever happened, and just say, hey, look, sorry, I had that bad experience. Let's connect. It'd be great if you could, reconsider that review. I'm not saying you got to bribe them or anything, but if you can convince them to take it down, that's obviously a really smooth way of doing that.
I was just asking for a friend.
Yeah.
I'm Megan.
Hi. I have had it suggested to me about putting my Google reviews into my website, so that how they show in Google will actually come up as a page feed.
Yeah.
Insert correct word here. What's the merit of doing that?
So they recently changed the rules around doing those things, because that's more for products, not so much services. You can do it, but I wouldn't recommend it wholeheartedly. I'd add in sort of a widget on your website saying Google reviews, but to get the, what we call the rich dipper for that is quite tricky. And you don't want to come off as a little bit deceptive to Google. So I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't make that a priority at all. I'd look at more getting the reviews on. Testimonials. I think you had a few testimonials on your website. Getting a testimonial page up and getting more on there would be really good, because that's probably the, after the homepage, that would be the second place that people go. It's having a look at your testimonials before they inquire. Just being like, okay, these guys seem cool.
But you do think having the Google widget is?
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah,
Is it or not really?
Yeah. But I wouldn't expect getting those 5-star ratings on your website coming up. I wouldn't expect that at all, because it's a bit tricky. It's a bit tricky on what we call schema. It's a bit tricky to get those.
Okay.
Got time for one more question. Does anyone else have any? Carol?
You mentioned the homepage title tag, and I know Taylor talked about doing it in Joomla. Is it easy to, I'm on WordPress. Is it simple to do on WordPress? Have you got some simple instructions on how to do it on WordPress?
Yeah, I could probably show you really quickly if I've got a website open. What's the website?
I don't know what mine, I can't even know what mine is.
Should I do it on Studiohawk? So yeah, let's just try it. Yeah. Do I have access? All right, let's see if I can.
I think we have access.
Okay. So hacking into Harry's account. Nope, wrong password. All right, I got 3 attempts left to show you. Let's hope this works. Nope. All right.
I think it's Jacob.
I think we got it.
The man has a long password.
That is a very long password. All
They're
right, cool, we're in. All right, just got to blast through this. All right, so you go into your backend. You want to go pages, all pages, and then find your, go down to your pages and find your front page. Go edit. And depending on how your theme is functioning, and most websites usually have Yoast installed or some sort of SEO sort of tweaking tool. So actually download the plugin Yoast. I can send you some instructions after.
I've got Yoast. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And you go edit snippet, and then you can edit it there.
Edit snippet. Okay.
Update it, and it should take a couple of days to update for Google as well. So don't freak out if it hasn't changed immediately.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it's the SEO title field I want to update.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And you can update your meta description in there as well. So cool.
Thank you.
Okay, that's the last of the questions.
Awesome.
If you do have any other questions, put it in the chat field now, because we'll keep keep it open, and Lawrence can contact you afterwards.
Yeah, awesome. Cool. And just to wrap up, thanks a lot, Darren, for letting me host this session. Just quick plug for Fresh. Zoom meetings are happening multiple times a week, so it's a great opportunity for you guys to jump in and do some networking, some fun. I'm in the Paran Hub that happens on Thursdays fortnightly. A few Fresh members around, so there's definitely a lot of opportunity there. So check out freshNetworking.com.au for more information on that. Ton of hubs that you can visit, ton of webinars going on.
Thanks for the plug.
Thanks a lot. Feel free to reach out to me with any questions, and also get connected to anyone from today's webinar that you're interested in as well, and just share your details around that. But otherwise, thanks so much.
Thank you. That was really great.
Thanks, guys.